Welcome everyone back to another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son George. I was my mother's caregiver after she was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Unfortunately, she passed on 1/1/2020, but we started TogetherForSharon.com in her memory and to advocate today for a cure for all those still battling Parkinson's and their families, because no one is ever alone in this fight for a cure. Today's guest is somebody who means very special to me. I've been following her so long and know her so well. I feel like we're not only family, but in this really for years. But I just such an honor every time I see this amazing person who's listening out there fighting for the cause. It just kind of inspires me to want to get up and fight right beside her. So I wanted to welcome Erika to the show. So excited and honored to have you. And again, we've been kind of planning this for a year. So I feel like we need a drum roll, but it's we'll have to do it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, no, not at all. But I am so glad to be on here with you, George. Like you said, I feel like I know you so well. We've been trying to connect, whether it's here or down in South Florida. I am up here in Louisville, Kentucky. Um,
Nice.
Me and my now fiance. Um,
Congratulations.
thank you.
I wish I had more drum rolls.
I know, right? Um,
Is it cold there? And we're actually
it
today's the
is.
first day in Florida. It's becoming cold, which is shocking.
I know, right? Yeah, like global warming. Um, no, it's getting chillier. I'll say that. I think today it's in the 60s, but
Um,
it's not too bad. But no, me and Eric, we started NPI back in 2020, and that is the National Parkinson's Institute. Um, We've both been involved in our local Parkinson's community for a long time. Him probably close to almost 20 years, and then me through my own personal diagnosis. Um, I don't have Parkinson's, but I was diagnosed with essential tremors, which I got my hand going right now. Um,
Well, we this show might be for Parkinson's awareness, but we send hope and love for everything. So it's not just about Parkinson's, as you know, and we'll get to a little later. When I was shocked to find out after 2 years after my mother passed, I knew there were about approximately 1 million people in the US with Parkinson's, but then I was shocked to find out over 10 million around the world have it, but then also the other areas, the Parkinsonians, and so we really want to advocate for all these. So it's always still an honor to have you with us.
um, and so many people with ET also, because I also have dystonia, and a big part of Parkinson's is also having dystonia. I don't know if your mom
She did.
suffered with any, yeah, dystonia. It's
Mhm.
extremely common in the feet,
Yeah. Yeah,
where they
her
have that curling and
curling of the
twisting.
toes. Yeah, she had that.
Um,
And back then, we didn't know anything about it, never even heard of
exactly.
it. And that's why I think it's so important, not only that we're meeting today, that we're kind of banding together to help advocate, because there could be somebody listening, or again, we encourage everyone to share the show, but that might have curling of the toes and never even heard of dystonia or Parkinson's or essential tremors. So that's why again, it's so important that we continue this.
Exactly. Well, and I think it's also just huge for the aspect of collaboration, especially over competition.
Yeah.
And I think just bringing everything together, which is really what MPI is all about. We really do have some big goals in the future. And if anybody wants to go visit our website and really see what our big goal is, we're really hoping to become a go-to for Parkinson's. We really want to bring everything that we do in our area all under one roof. We want to really just whether because we teach rock steady boxing, which is I'm sure you've
Mhm.
talked about it on here. We've been teaching rock steady boxing here. We still do it. We run the administrative side of our nonprofit, but then we're also still a hands-on working CEO and vice president. We love our community. They are our family. We always say that we're probably not going to have kids because we have so many in our Parkinson's community. Um,
Well, I find I have a sister now and you have a brother, so that's
yes, yes. And I have a brand new niece too. Um, so our community really is our family, and we love them just as much as our family.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
yeah,
appreciate it. I'm going to share now actually because you have such a perfect timing and look at that. Hopefully you can see it, but this
yeah,
is the reason we are here today. Again, my show is really about you and all that you all do at the National Parkinson Institute. I discovered you a few years ago and I wish I knew about you again when my mother was going through her struggle. We felt alone and that's why I started the show and TogetherForSharon.com to make sure no one ever feels alone. So maybe as I scroll a little, you can talk us through a little bit about, what's happening at the Institute and some of the events. I love the page, so maybe you're the expert.
yeah, absolutely. Actually, this right here is our goal. We
Mm,
really want to bring everything under one roof, whether this this is the entryway. I'm very proud of these designs. These are actually designed. Our architect has Parkinson's himself. We want to, this is our state-of-the-art turf that we want to do a lot of our programming on. We want to have an actual um uh, regulation size boxing ring. We want to be able to bring our boxing into that boxing ring. This would be well, and that's from our gala last year. We actually raffled off a car. This is one of our large car dealerships.
mhm,
Um, and his father, actually, the gentleman who is standing next to me,
mhm,
actually had Parkinson's. And they're very generously donated a car, and we raffled that off at our gala last year.
amazing.
Um, and then there's our mission, which really does say it all.
Yeah.
And under our promises, everything we do, which is also a huge proponent of us and who we are, we do everything for free. And we will continue to do everything for free.
That's the thing about this. You mentioned earlier that, it's like a family, it's a community, but there's
Mhm.
no goal except the same one for everyone. That's the end Parkinson's. And that's the tough, when you're in the community of Parkinson's, you understand and you're grateful and you appreciate it. Sometimes people outside don't understand how could we all be doing all this stuff, no sleep for free, but when you see what it does to people you love, that's what kind of motivates many of us.
It,
And you
it
know,
really is.
and you could tell it better than me, but when, I love virtual because it brings opportunity for us to meet. But when you're there live with people, it's so even more incredible because you get to hug them, smile, and sometimes unfortunately cry. But I think again, some of the things you're all doing are beautiful. I believe we're having Mr. Ryan Cotton on from, I think he's the
Well,
CEO.
Betty.
Yeah, so that'll
Yeah.
be exciting, but it's amazing how boxing and even you have pickleball I just learned about. I became friends
Yep.
with a professional female pickleball player, and we had her on to talk about how it slows the progression. Last Saturday, we had the luck in Miami, Florida, to go to Punch for Parkinson's, which is actually also a charity that does boxing for Parkinson's. So hopefully someday you'll be able to join us in South Florida, and I can come to your events. That would be fun. How are some
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
events? Maybe we could touch on one of your upcoming events.
Yeah, actually, well, this is one of our series that we do. We try our best to not keep them going weekly. But as the winter months come, they're they're
Yeah.
not as consistent, especially because they're held at the Apple store.
Right.
Um, but we partnered with them because Apple has so many phenomenal accessibilities, especially on the watch. Um, there is, I don't know if you've been able to tap into, there's a new app out called Strive
Hmm.
PD.
We've
Uh,
interviewed the people who make it. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, phenomenal app. And almost every single one of our people have either download it on their phone or on their watch if they're lucky enough to have the Apple Watch, which majority of our people have. Um, and then these are all of our gala
I
sponsors.
always just not every time I see you advertising for the gala, I look at my wife. I'm like, I'm so sad. I want to go so bad.
We would love to have you.
It's hard, unfortunately, my back issues that I have, it's hard to travel, but my dream
No,
someday before I'm here off the planet is to attend one gala because I'm in South Florida. You would think with the, donors in Palm Beach that there's really nothing for, we have like, some major organizations that have the walk each year, but I've never seen a gala in South Florida, which you'd think in Miami and Florida, somebody's going to take advantage, but nobody has yet. So,
I mean, you would think.
yeah.
And
And
this is
then,
actually our newest page, which we need to add you to this page.
I appreciate it. Well, we have you on ours, so that's okay. We don't ask.
Yeah.
I love it.
We gotta return the favor. We gotta
Uh,
add you to this page.
that's beautiful. I really enjoy everything you do and all the work that you both put into. I do want to share a few more resources if I could move the
Yeah, absolutely.
thing not letting me. All right, there we go. So I do want to also thank Eric, Mr. Richardson, if you can, for
Yes.
interviewing with me. And if everyone has time for completely free, like we've both been saying the whole show, you go to TogetherForSharon.com, click interviews, you'll be able to see a lot more in depth with the president, CEO of National Parkinson's Institute, also his background, a lot about the how to reach them and a lot of the programs and the training. So I want sending our love and support. Tell him give him a hug from me.
I
Also,
will.
you are also represented amazing on all the social
Thank
media.
you.
We follow all of your social media, and this is a beautiful photo of you. And congratulations again. I was excited when I heard you were today's most admired woman, but this should be forever, not just for one trophy. So
Thank you.
this is your, please everyone follow the National Parkinson's Institute. You can see here, we like it. I like that we're kind of live in a way, and also I always like everything as we talk. This was a sad
Thank
one,
you.
but
I know.
I had the honor to have Mr. Favre give a video on our behalf with me.
Oh,
And,
wow.
we put it
That's
out there.
great.
So I always joke, it's like I'll put a nice post, I'll get 2 or 3 likes. I put his post, he had 500,000 in a week.
I know, right?
No, I've never understand. And also, please follow Erica at her Instagram, which again I'm following and always liking because so many beautiful things. Here we heart them while we're on. See, there you go, technology, and you can follow her mission, her beautiful journey, and all the incredible things. My big part of my life has been exercise and fitness, and seeing
Yes.
you out there do it, I need to get them. Like my pictures don't look this beautiful. And then yeah, that was really the most important one. But again, also go to nationalparkinsonsinstitute.com. Very
Yes.
incredible. I mean, someday I hope I can, maybe next year we'll talk. I can zoom into one of your Apple events and share that
Yeah.
around. That's a new thing we've been doing where we take the show on the virtual road and you click on our show will be under podcast, but if you click
Okay.
podcast, there it goes, and then you click Q&A. It's a new series we've tried, and it went beautiful. We went
Okay.
to Team Fox event, which I had a lot of fun. And you can see here George Manahan, Team Fox. They actually zoomed in for 20 minutes, and they showed me they're at a national baseball park, so it was a lot.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
phenomenal.
So I'm trying to, because I love doing this because we're kind of sitting down. It's more peaceful, but it's a little more havoc and chaos at the events. But being able to show people around the world what you're showing live is just something I love. So that's kind of where the show, hopefully in 2025, will shift more towards.
Absolutely. We have our walk coming. We do a lot here in Parkinson's Awareness Month. So you know, in April. So we have our walk coming up in April, and then the gala is always in May. So we would love to have you,
Yeah, I'd
whether
love
it's
to.
virtually.
Even
Uh,
the gala would be beautiful. But
yes,
the best
yes,
thing about it is we reach, I guess it's been 40,000 people, but we want them all to, not even if they can attend, but why not still donate? Everyone listening, you could still
absolutely,
support Erica and the Institute. You don't actually have to physically be there, but look what we're doing now, some incredible things together.
exactly.
I wanted to shift now to I always call it the fun part, but that doesn't mean the rest of this
Yeah,
hasn't been
go for
fun.
it.
But I wanted to talk a little bit more about you. So if we can start off, can you list 3 words that describe who you are?
Let's see. Um, Compassionate, empathetic, and fun-loving.
Thank you. I love those. Here's a one that's really interests me. Is there, what's one moment or one most memorable moment that stands out through most of your work with awareness so far you can share?
Um, Probably, honestly, my very first support group. Um, Leading support groups is by far one of my favorite, most rewarding things. I still lead almost every one of our support groups in some capacity. Um, and I still very vividly remember my very, very first support group where I literally only had one person show up. And
No.
I was 18,
Mhm.
and that was my essential tremor support group. And that was very I will never forget that moment. And that was probably my very first toe in the water into advocacy and awareness and this whole journey. So,
Yeah, I love support groups because you're not alone. Unfortunately, when my mother and I were going through it, we didn't really know about them. And that's why, again,
yeah,
so important that we have these discussions. And I always say after this ends, everyone needs to keep sharing it. I will forever until we find a cure because even if we reach one person today that didn't know about the amazing things that you and the Institute do, we've changed the world forever for them. And again, I'm grateful for that and for all that you do. Here's an important question. Obviously, well, you're going through your struggle too. I have mine with the back, but I always like to bring the people in the background out for a moment, not physically, but who helps you during times of struggle? And also, I was a caregiver. What tips can you give those listening who might be caregivers?
um, definitely. Well, Eric, he is definitely my go-to. I know for me to actually call him my caregiver is something that's a little uncomfy for me to actually say because we are relatively young.
Mhm.
Um, but it's true. I think in every relationship, someone has to step up in that role at some point, and there are moments where I definitely do need someone there for me, where I can't carry the glass of water that's too full, because my hands shake too much. So he is definitely my go-to in those moments. Um, but I think my advice to individuals in that caregiver role is take it day by day. Um, Definitely patience is needed. Um, but taking it day by day and remembering to also take care of yourself because you're not going to ever be able to care for someone else if you forget to care for you as at all. So just remembering that self-care. You can't, you got to put on your mask first before you can put on the other person's mask.
I think that's been my downfall in life because I'll put your mask on before mine and I'll go down with that's
Yeah,
it. But
yeah,
that's an amazing point and very helpful tip. So very, very important. Also, we send our love and support to him and everybody in your family and the organization and the community because we appreciate how they also support you.
absolutely.
Is there something you might have done differently looking back the last 10 years?
I think kind of throwing myself under the bus here.
I'll
Um,
be right with you, don't worry.
I definitely have a way of not taking when I get criticism, I don't take it I'll get defensive before I take it. And I think that taking that criticism constructively over the past several years might have been more beneficial instead of getting uh defensive or always thinking I'm right.
Mhm. Well,
So I
maybe you're always right. I think you're always right. Thank you. And
think
this one you kind of already touched on because we're doing it now, but what do you think some ways we can better promote not just the Institute, but really awareness throughout the world?
um I think better promoting is just really working together.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think getting rid of the competition and the or even the idea of competition. We're all working towards the same goal. And I think just coming together and collaborating more, doing more team collaborations instead of I'm working with this institute or this hospital or this I can't work with you.
Right.
Um, if everybody would just realize that everyone's serving the same purpose and the same goal and just collaborate, I think that we would all serve the greater population in a better way.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, it always shocked to see why someone, I know some of them have technicalities and rules and things, but I'm an attorney, so it's not like we're asking for anything. The funny thing is when I ask someone like you or the Institute to come on or just to work together, and then I say I want nothing in return, sometimes people are shocked. It's like
Yeah,
2024, you still have people who do want to help and don't want anything in return. So
exactly.
I'm grateful that you gave me the opportunity. So thanks. Here's a fun one. Who is your hero or inspiration?
Hmm.
That's why we don't plan these on purpose. I like spontaneous.
Yeah, these are good questions.
I always say, everyone listening, feel free to email me if you have any questions for speakers or any ideas you want me to ask.
Um, my one of my biggest, because I think I have many, but one of my biggest motivators, who I could also call inspirations, is my father. Um, my dad is so a little bit about my dad, which if you're in the
Uh,
Louisville area, you definitely know my dad. He was a strength and conditioning coach for Howard Schellenberger, so down in Miami
FAU. Yeah, he used to be the coach for FAU football. I met him.
and in Miami.
Yeah.
Um, and then he and my dad played for Miami.
Oh,
Um, and then when
we need to
Howard
get
went
an
up,
institute in Miami, please.
I know, right? Um, and then when Howard went up to Louisville, which ironically the Louisville Miami game is tomorrow.
Well,
Um, but when Howard went up to Louisville, he took my dad um up to Louisville. So my dad coached strength and conditioning up in Louisville for 33 years.
well,
Um, which to be in that field nowadays is almost unheard of. Normally, there's so much turnover in that career. Um, so and now like my our rock steady is in the gym that my dad is working out of. So like our Parkinson's community knows my dad. Um, it's me and Eric train our Parkinson's community and my dad's right there every day. It's like they all come in, they hug my dad, they hug me. Um, it's the fact that I get to work every day doing something similar to what my dad did and does. It's I live so much of my life based around the person that my father is and has always been. And he is just has so much of my heart, and I have so much of his heart. And he truly just embodies the, I don't want to get emotional.
That's all right. People have cry in the show, so it's a Barbara Walters moment. But we could dedicate today
Uh,
for your father. And it sounds a lot similar to me and my mother. So it kind of mirrors the same type. And funny because you talked a little bit about, I was going to ask you, how do you stay in such incredible shape? And then you mentioned all the amazing things in your father. Makes sense. So do you have any recommendations for everyone listening who, you could explain how important exercise is because it slows progression for many diseases.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and ironically, I train every Monday through Friday with my father.
I wish
Uh,
I could get down there because I noticed I do Supermans, which is hard for my back, but I feel better after. And I've had 4 back surgeries and it's a mess. So, but I
oh
do notice,
gosh.
but the problem is the next day it comes back. But if I was doing it 5 days with you all, I have a feeling I wouldn't ever have a back problem again. So,
And one of my dad's favorite um things to train and speak and talk about is for the back, protecting the back, protecting especially the lumbar and that low back area.
mhm.
He preaches like how to get up and down the right way, how to just protect that core and that back, and it really is one of his favorite topics to talk about.
That'll be a different show.
Yeah, yeah,
Back show.
really. Um, but no, I really do owe my personal life progression, how it stayed so um my diagnosis stayed so steady and consistent to my staying active and my staying consistent. Um, Now I will say that
Mhm.
when my nutrition is more consistent, that enhances it even more. And I'm not always, I think that's hard. I think staying so pristine on your nutrition is hard. Um,
Well, imagine having 3 children and my wife's buying all the Halloween stuff now. I can't.
that's even more hard. But I cannot preach a healthy, active, consistent physical fitness routine, regimen, however you want to call it, for helping manage really any um neuro movement medical condition in general. Um,
No, I
it
agree.
truly is, honestly, movement is medicine. I preach that every day.
And even for the caregivers too, it's because a lot of
Absolutely.
time we talk mainly about the disease, but it's really the people around too that need, you could do it together. And now with the
Mhm.
technology like we're on, you can even do it virtually. So I think it's a
Yeah.
incredible experience. And that's why I recommend everyone listening, please not just follow Erica, but share what she does. And I think she's an inspiration to so many. I picture some young girl out there right now, maybe just young onset Parkinson's and is sitting
Yeah.
alone and sees you and really hopefully they'll reach out and you can help inspire them too. Next area, and as we wrap up soon, unfortunately, I could talk for you for 20 hours and you won't want to be my friend. But if you were asked to write a script to a movie about your life story, what would you call
Oh gosh.
it?
Um, Trembling triumphs.
I like that. There's always a unique answer, and that one's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And finally, if you could leave the Parkinson's community and essential tremor community today with some words of encouragement, what would they be?
Honestly, I would tell them don't shy away from telling your story, because every story has a purpose, and you never know who you could be inspiring. And when you tell your story, whether you think it's, pardon my language, worth a damn or
Mhm.
not, it's therapeutic. And it's it means something. So honestly, embrace your story and use it to whatever benefit you feel is beneficial. But if you're willing, share your story because you never know who you're gonna inspire.
No, I appreciate it. Those are beautiful words. And I have a little message for you and everyone listening. We love you. We support you. We care a lot about you, and you're never alone. I, along with Erica and the entire Institute, will advocate for you. And I feel together our voices are so much stronger. And I always say I'm just getting started because I remember about a year or more now ago when I discovered the Institute and learned about all the amazing things that both of you or all of you are doing, kind of re-energized me to keep fighting because some days are tough for everyone and you have your own issues, pain and loss. But when you see such inspiration like Erica and what you do, kind of makes me not just smile, but want to jump up and kind of get by your side with John and everybody and, keep fighting. So I, again, just wanted to thank you for your time and for all you do. And really, it's been not just a pleasure, but an honor to finally, come together. And I just hope that everybody out there supports you. Please go to nationalparkinsonsinstitute.com. And again, so grateful for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for listening. Please stay tuned. We have so many more important conversations to have. We have to keep sharing this though, with Erica and with the Institute till we find a cure. So this has been another episode of Q&A with Sharon, son George. Please stay tuned. There's so much more to come. Please support again the National Parkinson's Institute. Please follow Erica on Instagram, Facebook, and all the other amazing social media. I know when I see her with trophies and galas, I'm so excited for her and right there with you. So again, thanks everyone, and we'll be in touch, but so much more to come. We're not going to stop until there's a cure. So thank you again.